How you doing? This is Music Link with Kimmy Diamond. Content brought to you by Music Arena. As promised from the last episode, we finna do flowers. It has been a heavy week for the rap culture, for the whole world, and we not doing bar time in this particular episode. That's going to wait for the next episode. So we finna get straight into the flowers for this episode. Unfortunately, we have to do it like this. Young Dolph. Now, Young Dolph, as you know, as of last week, he was tragically taken from us, from his family, from his kids, and it's unfortunate that this whole thing happened. So, yeah, it's sad that we have to do flowers like this. You know. I wish that we would have got a chance to give him his flowers while he was here, and we just started the show, so this was very unexpected. So we're gonna get into it. So Young Dolph, he was born in Chicago, Illinois, but he was raised in Memphis, Tennessee, and he established his own independent label, as we know, Paper Route Empire, and he established this back in 2010. So he was independent for a very long time, and he's been around for a very long time. So during his lifetime, he dropped 7 albums, one compilation album, 19 mixtapes, and 2 EPs. So, we all know, and people who knew Dolph, he has been hard working ever since then, like taking no breaks, full foot on the whole gas. That's what he has been doing. And his first mixtape that he ever dropped was Paper Route Campaign, and this was back in 2008. So this was like 13 years ago. And this was around the time where, downloads was the thing. And if you want to check that mixtape out, you can go ahead. It's available on YouTube. But this was around that Piff days. You know what I mean? We all know them days. That Piff is still around, but we do remember those times. And his first album that he ever dropped was King of Memphis. Okay, so that was released back in February 19th, 2016. And the single from this project was Get Paid, Get Paid, Get Paid, Get Paid, Get Paid, Get Paid. I remember when that song dropped. And it peaked number 5 on US rap albums. So that was very good, especially that for this to be his first album, his debut album. And of course, he was featured on the well-known single by OT Genesis, Cut It, Cut It, Hey. That Beyonce did her own little breakdown to that song. But yeah, we all know that single as well. And later on in his career, he signed a deal with Empire, but for a long time, he was independent. You know what I'm saying? So his last album that he released was Rich Slave. Now, this was released back on August 14th, 2020. Okay. And the singles from this album is R&B, Blue Diamonds, Death Row in Large Amounts, and it peaked number 1 on US independent album charts on Billboard, which is a good thing. Now, with his deal with Empire Distribution, he owns all of his masters and a large portion of the revenue under this deal. So that was a good deal, because we all know when it comes to deals, it's not going to be all the way in your favor. However, it is fair. You know what I'm saying? This was a fair deal here, to sign with another label besides yours, and still own your masters. So get them streams up, play his song, play his stuff and stuff like that, in order to support his family. You know what I'm saying? Please do that. And he's a very generous soul. Now, even though he is a rap artist, he has a generous soul. He did a lot for the people. He was for the people. You know what I'm saying? He once quoted that he don't care about the money. He is not all about the money. You know what I'm saying? Which definitely showed what kind of person he was. So back in 2019, he hosted a Mother's Day brunch in support of people who survived domestic violence and women who struggled with addiction, and homelessness. And that's a big thing. That's a big deal. And also in 2020, I'm sorry, in 2020, he donated 25K to his high school that he attended to, Hamilton High School, in Memphis, for sport equipment. So that was very nice, and that's very sweet. And yeah, he also gifted a fan a blue tangerine Lamborghini Aventador, a custom made Aventador, to one of his fans. And he also, his thing was to give out turkeys annually. That has always been his thing. That was a tradition of Young Dolph, you know what I mean, around the holidays. And you know, we all wish that he could have, you know what I mean, was able to do it this year. And he also gifted two Duke University students who were former baristas 20K after they got fired for playing Get Paid at the school campus in their coffee shop that they worked at. And even though it was messed up how they got fired, but that was a very generous act by Young Dolph. You know what I'm saying? You know, especially college students. We all know when it comes to debt, it's a lot. Okay. And he was very big on real estate. That's another thing about Young Dolph that's very amazing. He owned properties in Memphis around 100, including foreclosures. You know what I mean? That's a lot. And you know, he was soon going to retire, you know, to spend more time with his family. And you know, again, this was a very sad time and a very sad moment for hip hop and rap culture. He really does have an impact on everybody, from his fans, you know, people in Memphis, you know what I mean, artists from OT Genesis, Gucci Mane, you know, Megan Thee Stallion, you know what I mean? So, you know, of course he has been around a long time, so he is considered a vet. I really do consider as a vet. And, you know, he worked his way up to the top, you know what I mean? And a lot of people said that he was like the Nipsey of Memphis, you know what I'm saying? So I know that this was a very heartbreaking news. Guys, please pray for his kids. Please pray for, his wife, his love, Maya Mia. I hope I pronounced her name right, you know what I mean. So, but yeah, please just pray for his family, pray for his kids, you know what I mean, his loved ones, because it's gonna take a lot. And the fact that this happened right before the holidays is very unfortunate. So please pray for that family, please, if anything. Again, long live Dolph. Rest in peace, Young Dolph. You know what I'm saying? My condolences to his family, his fans, and everybody who is touched. And this gonna take a toll on people. So I just hope for the best. So that's going to wrap up for Flowers as promised. You know what I mean? I wanted to make sure that the research is done. You know what I mean? And we made sure that we acknowledge as much as possible about what he did, because he definitely should have got his flowers, but not in this fashion. Again, long live Dolph. Okay, so that's gonna wrap it up for Flowers. So don't mean to hit y'all heavy, but we had to. So all right, hopefully all the other segments will lift the spirits up, but had to do it. So now we finna get into Biz After Music. Okay. So Biz After Music is a segment that we do when we talk about rappers, from investing, endorsements, business deals, you know what I mean? Stuff like that in the business world that's outside of music. Because again, do not put all your eggs into one basket. So Jay-Z is increasing his portfolio, as we see. Okay. I mean, we all know that Jay-Z has a large portfolio. Okay. A large portfolio. So he is investing in a tech enterprise that targets on the metaverse and constructing blockchain based incubators by Slabs. Now, Slabs is founded by Idris Sandu, okay, which, I've known, Idris through Nipsey. So, yeah, and he's also the co-founder of Marcy Venture Partners. So if I mention MVP, that's what I'm referring to. So this is a multi-tiered partnership, okay? And again, do not put all your eggs into one basket, and also MPV invested in a lot of businesses, okay? Um, Fenty is one of them, okay? Biggest investment ever because we know how Venti is taking over from makeup, all that. So when it comes to this whole tech world, that's a nice investment here because we all know that technology advances at a quick pace. So for Jay Z or MVP investing in technology, it's not a bad move. It's not a bad move at all. So yeah, get it while you can. Just gonna get into it with Little Kim, okay? Lil Kim aphrodisiac brand. Huh? Yeah. So now it has been reported that she has a new cannabis line, okay? So this is a new business deal here. This is a good business move here, Lil Kim. I see you, Queen B. Oh, all right. So yeah, and she's partnered up with Superbad Incorporated, okay? And this will be available in California in the start of next year. So honestly, this will be a good move. Okay, so I'm very excited. I'm very excited when rappers, you know what I mean, get into other business ventures and stuff like that. Because again, don't put all your eggs into one basket, fam. Okay, so excited. Okay. So that's going to wrap it up for Biz After Music. We finna get into compare and contrast. Now, compare and contrast is a concept, it's a segment that we do when we compare rappers, producers, anybody who contribute to the rap culture together where there are some similarities. However, they are different. Okay. And we finna get into it because this was a good one. This was a good one. Hear me out. Okay. Before y'all gonna be like, hear me out. All right. Nate Dogg and T Pain. Okay. Hear me out. All right. If y'all get it, if y'all got what I'm saying, then okay. Ain't no need for me to explain. But hear me out. All right. When it comes to hooks and hits, these two right here, they they they, they create masterpiece. Okay. When it comes to hooks and hits, you guarantee you can call these two. Okay. All right. When it comes to hits and hooks, they just know how to do it. They just put a dash of gold on top of the song. That's how they manage to do things. All right. And when it comes to a melodic hook, a melodic is when it comes to melodies, you got to give it up to these two. All right. So yeah, especially when it comes to hip hop, all right? So we finna get into it. All right, finna get into it. So when it comes to Nate Dogg, okay, when it comes to Nate Dogg, his well-known feature credits is Regulate, of course, by Warren G. Okay, one of Warren G's biggest hits, okay, and All About You. Every other living girl, any other man is all about you. Okay. By Tupac, of course. All right. And the next episode, hey, okay, by Dr. Dre. All right. And he better lay low. Okay, my Snoop Dogg. Okay, lay low. All right. All of these hits. Okay. And it's still on the radio. It's still on West Coast radio stations. Okay. You best believe that. When it comes to radio stations, you best believe you finna hear Nate Dogg's voice. All right. And there's a plethora of other hits, okay, like Area Codes by Ludacris, I'm a rider, you know what with me? Okay, like listen, I can go on. All right, but all right, so yeah, his music is primarily R&B, but he contributed heavily to G Funk, of course, and West Coast hip hop, right? So That's his thing, all right? And his deep baritone voice with a touch of gospel helped bless a lot of hits. It blessed a lot of people, okay? I'm pretty sure that music would sound very different if Nate Dogg wasn't, didn't exist. I'm for certain. And he is considered the starter of gangster singing. You know what I mean? Out of all people, Nate Dogg make sound like he make gangster stuff sound so cool. It sounds so touchy. Like, oh, like he, I man, there's a lot of things that I can say, but yeah, when it comes to gangster singing, he is considered as the pioneers, and of course, he has the title of the king of hooks because he does. He does this without trying too hard, and that's what makes Nate Dogg widely accepted. Okay, now with T Pain, all right, his well-known credits. Okay, his well-known feature credits is out of my sister. You know, you need nothing. Bye bye. And Shawty, or by flies and low flow rider. Okay, still playing on movies, all that. Okay, she hit the he hit the okay. So that yeah, and got me and you got okay by Lil Wayne. All right, I remember when that dropped. Okay, I was around both of their drops. It's crazy. And of course, the difference between, him and Nate Dogg is that he used auto tune. Now, he really don't need auto tune. However, you know what I mean? That's his lane. So I respect it, and he considered his music hard R&B. Now, one thing about these two is that they really mastered their own lane. Okay, like Nate Dogg with the deep baritone voice and T Pain auto tune. You know what I mean? But when it comes to them hooks, you guarantee there's gonna be a hard hook, a memorable hook. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I was around all of this. It's crazy. But yes, I love this compare and contrast because it made so much sense. Okay. So yeah, shout out to T Pain and rest in peace, Nate Dogg. But this was a good compare and contrast. This is I mean, when it comes to these two, it makes sense. I can't see no compare and contrast, with Nate Dogg with anybody else other than T Pain, and same with T Pain. So yeah, this makes sense. All right. So that's that for that segment. Now we're finna get into returning of the capsule. Okay, so returning of the capsule is a segment that we do to just go back in time and reminisce albums and when they drop. And you know what I mean? The fun times, the fun moments. Okay, so this is a 2004 edition. Okay, so, ooh, okay. This was a long time ago. So 18 years. Finna be 18 years. Dang. So long. Okay, finna get into it. All right. Straight out of Cashville by Young Bug. Okay. Okay, this was when G Unit was nothing to play with. Okay, this was around that time. All right, it is released back in August 24. Sorry, August 24th, 2004. I kind of got too excited. So singles, "Let Me In" and my favorite, "Show You Wanna Ride With Me, Ride With Me." Hey, okay. And this was his first album that he dropped, okay? And it peaked number 2 on US top R&B and hip hop album charts, and number 3 on US Billboard 200, okay? And it is certified platinum, okay? So yeah, Shorty One Around Me it's on one of my playlists. It's one of my playlists that I have. And y'all remember the music video when they redid Natural Born Killers? Like, oh my gosh, that was a time. That was a time. Golly, time just fly by fast. Okay, so that into Purple Haze by Cameron. Okay, so This was released back in December on December 7th, 2004. Okay, singles, Get 'em Girls, Lord, you know it. Okay, Shake, Hey Ladies, Girls, Down and Out. All right, so this is his fourth album that he have released, and it peaked number 4 on U.S. top R&B and hip hop album charts on Billboard, and it is certified gold. Okay, so this is one of Cameron's, biggest album yet. Critically acclaimed biggest album. All right, so very memorable here. Okay, and last but not least, okay, we finna get into the College Dropout by Kanye West. Okay, this was his first album. Okay, this was his first album, and when I hit you with these singles, y'all gonna be like, dang. Okay, so this was released on February 10th of 2004. Singles: Through the Wire, Slow Jams, All Falls Down, which was my personal favorite. Jesus Walks, and the New Workout Plan. Like literally, his biggest hits was on this album. Like this was his first album. That's crazy, and it peaked number 1 on U.S. top R&B and hip hop album charts, and it was certified 4 times platinum. Am I surprised? No, I'm not. You know, All Falls Down. Featuring Selena Johnson. I do remember that time, and that was one of my favorite songs. You know what I mean? People around me was like, "Why you like this?" I don't know. I just like the song for some reason. And Slow Jams. I can't really sing the song because trying to dodge that trademark. But other than that, because we don't got clearance. But yeah, I remember, that was around the time Twister was on his thing, and Jamie Foxx, and Through the Wire. Do remember that song. But yeah, like for this to be your first album, all your classics is on this album. That is something else. That is very memorable, and it's still timeless to this day. So yeah, that is that. So again, what is your favorite Young Dolph song, album, and what is like how you feel about Jay-Z invested in technology, and are you going to try out Lil Kim's new cannabis brand? Okay, what's your favorite Nate Dogg hit? What's your favorite T-Pain hit? Okay, what's your favorite song out of Straight Out of Cashville? Okay, you remember that album? You remember those times? And what's your favorite song off of Purple Haze by Cameron? And what is your favorite song, favorite single from the College Dropout by Kanye West? So that's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Again, long live Young Dolph and long live Nate Dogg. So that's gonna wrap it up. It's been Music Link with Kimmy Diamond, content brought to you by Music Arena, and I hope y'all guys really enjoy this episode, and see y'all next one.